For ACUSports.com, I'm Chris Macaluso, and joining me this afternoon on the courts of the Eager Tennis Pavilion is head coach Hutton Jones. And Coach, your team's seasons begin this weekend. Your women go to Indiana for the fourth consecutive year for the Winter Invitational hosted by the Hoosiers, and your men run a dual gauntlet of sorts, taking on nationally ranked teams from Texas, SMU, and Oklahoma. But before we get to the details of the spring season, what was your kind of final assessment and summary of the way your men's and women's teams performed during the fall season?
Well, I wasn't able to make any off-season trades, so we're gonna have to go with what we got. And I'm actually pretty doggone happy with the people that we have here. They're slowly, I say slowly but surely, coming in to being what I'd say understanding ACU tennis. We kind of have a pretty good mix of youth. We were really young on the guys' side last year. Really, Jason Proctor was our only senior, and I feel like those guys, with what they went through last year, are coming back, really veterans as sophomores. And we got a lot of sophomores, we got a lot of juniors, so and girls are got a lot of new faces this year. So the fall was maybe even more important to just understand how we do things, and I'm very grateful because they're the kind of girls, and this is why I got them, is that they're buying into what we're doing, and it's not always just immediately translating to wins, but it's more how you compete. I just think once you're to D1, to say the percentage level between so many players is not that great, and you don't win and lose matches because you know how to hit a little bit more top spin, or there's tennis involved, but everybody's good is what I guess I'm saying. Everybody's good. So it's really the intangibles and learning how to compete better. And a lot of them are great players, but they actually don't know, to me, have not had how to compete in such a way that's going to bring out your best. So I feel like we did that in the fall with both teams, and had some really neat, different things we could highlight, but I won't go into all that, of wins in the fall against some really good opponents. So we've got to translate that to a team concept now and go out there and get 4 points out of 7. It's not the individual feeling of the fall. This is kind of the main season to me when you go team against team. So,
with your season starting in mid-January, you've had your teams back on campus now for a week or so. What have your individual student athletes been working on since they've come back to campus, and what do you have going on today on the indoor courts? It looks like there's a lot of matches between your players, an inter squad of sorts.
Well, tennis is actually kind of a college tennis. There's just a setup. There's nobody's in any different boat. That's the good thing. Is a nightmare for coaches as far as this is just the way it is. You come in here and these schools start playing matches, and you have your limited playing seasons by the NCAA. So if you don't have teams that are actually training during the break, you're going to see that. We'll see it this week, in the next week or two, of their training, or how sore they are from whatever, if they've worked out like they're supposed to. But again, that's all on their own during the break, which is fine. We have a long spring, and I'm very much fine with it. They don't need to hear me or see me for a month, but we do just jump right into it. The only good thing is everybody else is just jumping in also, and you're just hoping that they've kind of stayed with it over the break. It's always tough to find indoor courts or whatever with weather, but we are actually, it's a nice day today, but it is different playing indoor, and everything we're doing this weekend is indoor, and you just got to want to feel comfortable with that, so we're practicing indoors all day in just different sections and more kind of match play. I'm making certain conditions out of them, so they have to do certain things. But so that's just kind of what we're doing all day today and tomorrow, and then we're pretty much headed to play University of Texas Thursday. 3 top 16 teams on the men's side, and the women thing is no slouch either. Just a very solid D1 tournament. So we got to lay a foundation. To me, there's no better way to play good people. If you don't get your spirit broke, you're going to end up being a better team. And if you get your spirit broke, you're probably not tough enough to be good anyway at some point. So you've got to be tough enough to lose the right way if you can't beat these people. But we'll be hopefully having the mentality that if we do certain things, we can win. I mean, yeah, they're better, but that doesn't mean we can't win. That's what we should be thinking.
Will you be going with the men's team this weekend, or are you going to go back to Indiana for the Invitational?
It's hard. These are really hard decisions for me. Luckily, I have the best assistant head coach in the country in John Walker, and I just kind of started the tradition of going to this Indiana tournament. I hate to miss that, and we have a younger women's team, not that, so I've kind of been going to that one. But I'm going to go to the Texas match, but then I'll drive on back to Dallas and fly out and then be with the girls in that tournament, and John will finish out the guys' trip. So I'll see a little of both, actually. So anyway.
Excellent, Coach. We wish you and your teams nothing but the best this weekend. Again, ACU tennis, men's and women's teams in action this weekend. The men start play Thursday at number 4 Texas, and then they go to SMU and later Oklahoma for a Sunday duel. And the women's team this weekend will be in Bloomington, Indiana for the Hoosier Winter Invitational. For head coach Hutton Jones, I'm Chris Macaluso.